Hi guys, how are you doing? Today's reading, I'm gonna focus on the energy of Mars in Aquarius. It is a timeless reading, so whenever I find you, it's for a reason. Okay, maybe you have Mars in Aquarius, or maybe it's just arriving you for a reason because it's meant to. So today's question is going to be, where are you being called to stand in your truth? Where are you being called to stand in your truth? Okay, so we got the winter lovers. At the top, we have the winter star. And at the bottom, we have apprentice of winter swords. So what I'm getting here is a lot about connections. So you're you're being called to stand in your truth in the connections, in your connections. That so okay. I'm getting a lot about this connections, okay, but I'm also getting this thing about balancing your connections, understanding um how you can act and not act in certain group of people, or with certain people in a specific. There's this thing, right, that people used to say that we should treat everyone in the same way, but to be quite honest, we cannot do that, right? Because then we're not respecting each other's individuality, right, when we say that. So I'm getting like this energy that right now you should be true to truth. You should be true in your connections specifically, especially like the connections that bring you this emotional fulfillment. And with the winter star at the top, I feel like you may be healing about, connections, especially like love connections. Okay, but it could be any type of connection here, friend, family, but looks like there was a really period of healing, and I feel like now you may be seeing the difference. Perhaps you've been doing this for a while now, and now you're actually being able to see the difference of all the healing that you've done. So that's why I'm getting like this energy that you need to be true in your connections, because now you know different things. Like, now you can, now you're more aware, right? Because before, perhaps, there were like patterns that you were having a hard time to break, and now you can be more aware, like you notice when things are happening in a different way. And with the apprentice of winter swords, that is the name, the same as the knight of swords, I feel here that this could be related to your communication and how you react to things and people. And I feel like this is something that is going to be brought up a lot in your connections right now, because that's like it is a chance for you to show up in a different way right now, because you've healed things, right? You've healed wounds that you had to, and now it is your chance to show up in a different way. And the winter lovers is not just about romantic relationships, it is about like choosing, right? So like right now, I feel like you need to choose if you're going to act and to say things from a past wound, or if you're gonna say things and do things from the healed version of yourself. So I think like there's this choice here that I feel like right now it is something that you're learning. So probably there are some situations coming to surface right now that so you can actually see how you can deal with it, because perhaps like you thought you would not be able to deal with certain people or situations, but like you cannot avoid it, right? You need to actually like at some point you need to put yourself in a certain situation so you can see how you're gonna deal with it. You know, there is like the time that you hermit, that you heal things, right? Like it, for me, for example, I think that is important for you, like to remove yourself from some situations, remove yourself um, away from certain people so you can see things in a different way. But you cannot like really stay in that place forever, right? You're gonna have to deal and face with things at some point. So like then that's when the growth really happens, because then you're gonna see that you're actually able to deal with that, you know, because you've learned and you've healed and you've grown. Let's see what's the advice for you about this. What's the advice? Okay, so here we have the main energy is the Master of Winter Swords. At the top, we have Three of Winter Pentacles. And at the bottom, we have Three of Winter Cups. March 3rd can be meaningful for someone. Okay, so what I'm getting here is that the advice for you is for you to understand that you are being presented this situation, these people, so you can actually train and practice how to act and communicate in certain situations and with certain people. I feel like this the main goal here is for you to be able to control your thoughts, to control your communication, to control how you react to things, so you're not gonna be a reactive person. So I feel like here this is the goal with all this that you're going through right now, is for you to master that. Okay. And with the Three of Winter Pentacles, I feel like there is this energy that right now you need to be in settings where you can actually practice that. Okay. So that may be a little bit uncomfortable for some people, but right now it is like something that is needed so you can learn more and actually, because when you actually go through those situations, your nervous system needs to learn how to be and how to act in that new situation with like your new you, with your your new healed self. So that's why it's important to put yourself in that kind of situation at some point, okay? So you can master this communication, like can be things that like about boundaries too. But I'm getting a lot of here about reacting. So perhaps you're a really reactive person and it is those things are happening so you can master that. So you're not gonna be so reactive anymore. You can control that. And with the Three of Winter Cups at the bottom, I feel like there is this um I feel like there's this like two settings right now that you like some settings like you're gonna be it's gonna be more challenging. Okay, that you're gonna have to actually work with people to actually put boundaries, to communicate, to learn how to react, and some how not to react. And with some other group, you're gonna understand that like you're already good. Your like nervous system already feels safe, already feels good, you know. So I feel like there's this two group settings that you need to put yourself in both of them though. You don't have to put yourself just on the in the challenging settings. You also need to enjoy the settings that you actually are able to enjoy, to be happy, you know, to actually be around friends who you feel more comfortable with, like your nervous system feel more comfortable with. So I feel like right now that's the time for you, okay? Whatever is happening right now is for you to actually be able to master, especially like this reactiveness, okay? I'm getting a lot about being reactive. So I feel here that there's this, that e- everything that is happening right now is for you to master that. So you can be able to control it, okay? Well, guys, this is the message for you today. And I see you in the next one. Bye bye.